We knew this was coming. You saw it coming. We saw it coming right here on this show. The college football playoff in 2026 is expected to go to 14 teams. ESPN reports that is looking to potentially be finalized or formalized, rather, by the end of the day or midday Friday. Bottom line, looks like 14 teams is happening. What do we think about this? What does it mean? Why is this happening? What's the impact of all this? We'll talk about it right now. College football fans, it's only college football here every single day of the year. I did not say week, every single day of the year we talk college football. So make sure you join, make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss a minute of what we got going on right here. You love the sport, we love the sport. Appreciate y'all joining the party. So here's the deal. It's about money. We knew it was about money. Everyone has always talked about it being about money. Is it best for the sport? We have our own opinion on that. We don't really think so. We'll talk more about that in a minute. But when it comes to the money side of things, it feels like we have to at least address that. Looks like it'll be $21 million-ish a year per school for the Big Ten and the SEC, up from $5.5 million that the Power 5 conferences had agreed on. The ACC is going to be over $13 million. The Big 12 will be over $12 million. Group of 5 schools will be around $1.8 million, up from $1.5 million. So here's the deal. To put it simply, everybody's making a little bit more money. If you're the Big Ten or the SEC, you're making a lot more money. Do we care as college football fans? Not really. Like, good for those folks for making some money. Good on you, but, like, we don't really care as fans who live, breathe, and love this sport every single day of our natural-born lives. Doesn't matter to us. What's happening right now is they are taking the sport that we have come to love, and they're trying to sell us these different ideas that tell us, like, hey, no, this is good for the sport. This is good for college football. Hey, you like March Madness? You love March Madness, don't you? Here's a Cinderella story coming at you. The reality is Cinderella stories in March Madness are awesome, but we love college football. And Cinderella stories in college football have been able to happen now for the better part of, the last decade plus. With this 4-team playoff, the Cinderella stories, I think, were most possible, in my opinion. You can make an argument for the BCS, but I think we had a Cinderella story in 2021 Cincinnati. I'll take a step back. The reason why the whole Cinderella story thing is a lie from other big CFB folks, the Cinderella premise was always based upon like the little guy having a shot to beat the big guy, win a national title. Previously, in the 4-team playoff, if you got into the dance, like a G5 Cincinnati did, you had to win 2 games. Now the reality is if you make the dance, you have to win 4 games. Which is easier to do, to win 2 or to win 4? It's not helping the little guy. It's actually hurting the little guy. We go to 14 teams. Now, talking a lot about, there's more meaningful football being played. That's another thing you're going to hear said. A lot of folks are going to tell you more meaningful games in the postseason. That's a good thing. More ball, great. And if you're against that, you'll hear people say, you don't really love college football? You don't want to see more games being played on campuses as playoff games? They'll kind of throw that narrative at you. That's not the reality either. Just because you have more games with a playoff label on them in December and January doesn't mean you have more meaningful games. Because in reality, what you're doing is you're diluting the value of that 12-game season that you get during the regular season that we used to just call a full season-long playoff. That was why the regular season was so special. Because whenever you had a game, whether it was September, October, November, it meant the world to your postseason aspirations. In the BCS era, if you dropped a game, hey, who knows? You may or may not have a chance to win the national title. You probably need some help right now. In the 4-team playoff, if you lost a second game, that was it. If you lost one, who knew? So the reality here is it's not more meaningful games. It's not a Cinderella story enhancer. It is what it is. It's about money. The details of this format are still TBD. Ross Dellinger from Yahoo Sports is usually the point for this. Him and Pete Nakos is who I go to when it comes to intel on this. He put out a tweet that I thought was worth us talking about right now. As previously reported by Yahoo Sports, playoff format will not be determined this week, but several 14-team models remain in consideration. Again, this is per Ross Dellinger, Yahoo Sports. He lists off the following: 2 or 3 automatic qualifiers from the Big Ten, 2 or 3 automatic qualifiers from the SEC, 1 or 2 automatic qualifiers from the ACC, 1 or 2 automatic qualifiers from the Big 12, 1 automatic qualifier from the G5, and then you have anywhere from 7 or 3 at-large bids. That's one format. So 14 teams, obviously the Big Ten and the SEC are getting the most there. 1 or 2 from the ACC and the Big 12, 1 for the G5. also, the other model is 5 automatic qualifiers, so your highest ranked champs, and then 9 at-large bids. What are they going to do? I don't know. I'm not sure. But here's what I will say. This is, to rehash this, this is not going into effect until 2026, but we've given a mouse a cookie now. If you think they're going to stop at 14 teams for this college football playoff format, they're not. We have now given a mouse a cookie. I'll rephrase that. I'll backtrack a little bit here. Have you ever read that children's story? If you give a mouse a cookie, what's going to happen? They're going to want some milk. And then so on and so forth. So the premise is, if you give someone a little bit of something, get them a taste for it, they're going to want the next thing. We have now provided the powers that be with a 14-team playoff format. They're going to see a lot of money come in. Probably more money than the 12-team format's going to make in this 2-year span. So what's going to happen? They're going to say, nope, that's more than enough money for us. We're good. Hey, don't mind us. Yeah, we're happy with that much money. Or is it more likely they'll see those zeros, they'll see those big checks being written, those dollar signs, and say, well, if we added more teams, we'd have more inventory with a chance to make more revenue. That sounds good to me. Hey, more meaningful football, right, guys? Help the Cinderella out a little bit. You guys like March Madness, right? College basketball is not college football. 2 totally different sports, and we're fine with that. But what they're doing right now is not going to stop at 14 teams, just so we're all on the same page. I know it's not coming until 2026. It's not finalized at the time of us recording this, but they are expecting to formalize it by midday Friday. We'll see what happens here. We'll see what happens, but this feels imminent. I believe it is imminent, and everybody hang on tight. The tectonic plates continue to shift in the college football landscape, and we have officially given a mouse a cookie, and they have officially taken some milk. So what happens after that, I don't remember the story, but feel pretty confident in saying 14 is not the resting place for the college football playoff format. But it is where we're going in 16, or it is where we're going in 2026, and who knows if we get to 16 here sooner rather than later. Okay, make sure you're subscribed. Love y'all. Appreciate y'all. This is still our sport. We talk about it here every single day on this platform, the On3 YouTube channel, on this show, The Hard Count. Love y'all. Appreciate y'all. Going to keep this party rolling, and we will see y'all next time. Hey, y'all. Thanks so much for watching. Subscribe to the channel here to make sure you don't miss an episode of The Hard Count. Also, be sure to check out other videos on the On3 YouTube channel.